This is a lessons learned presentation for the tax that occurred at the summit. This presentation is by Group 5, United Kingdom. Introduction. The purpose of this presentation is to present the lessons learned from the summit to the CISO. All impacted systems, critical infrastructure, and cyber events were analyzed so efficient modifications can be applied where necessary. Topics that will be discussed are threats, identified risks, cost-benefit analysis, recommendations, mitigation research, outcomes, and conclusion. Threat actors identified are national intelligence, military organizations, terrorists, career criminals, industrial competitors, hackers, disgruntled employees, and insider threats. Using devices to communicate and transmit data makes them susceptible to many security vulnerabilities. Threats like unauthorized data collection, data exposure, and data loss are the most vulnerable when it comes to mobile usage. Cyber criminals looking to cause disruption to a program housing significant data is not common. They are likely seeking a thrill, trying to draw attention, or expecting a potential payout from an unexpected victim. Gaining access to a network as large as the one containing personal information relating to millions of users means serious exposure. Threats are so effective because of obtrusive reconnaissance of computer and infrastructure technology and cyber tools that are readily available. Identify risk. With many systems housing substantial amounts of data, like those within the federal and financial industries, attempts for unauthorized exposure is inevitable. Threats like unencrypted data, vulnerable networks that are open to the public, denial of service, or DOS. Several engineering attacks and leaks caused by data breaches can create many issues that target the most important areas of information infrastructure. CIA. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Risks identified at the summit are ransomware, malware, denial of service, and man-in-the-middle attacks. In order to prevent unauthorized access and potential insider threats, all databases will require only authorized credentials to access the systems. They will be authenticated with every logon attempt. Each user will create a password between 12 and 14 characters, including alphabets and numbers and special characters that will be validated and stored for immediate reference. After 3 logon attempts, the accounts will be locked, and the user will need to contact customer service to prove identity and unlock the account. Through the use of access control, like role-based and discretionary, authorized officials can grant or deny access based on models as well. These controls allow developers and administrators to better distribute access while maintaining level of privacy. With the many different users having access to the network, there has to be a way to provide some level of protection, so all systems have to sit behind several firewalls and gateways. Constant moving of data across the network means that every bit of data should be protected from unintended viewers and unauthorized alteration. Unauthorized access can be prevented by firewalls, auditing encryption, advanced encryption standard, triple DES, and RSA. Use of cryptography tools can help only authorized personnel view the technology. Malicious activity can be identified by using the continuous monitoring tools. Professional ethical hackers should conduct extensive penetration tests to help identify weaknesses on the network. Cost-benefit analysis aids in the decision-making process when determining the actions or controls needed to protect the system. There are many features that must be considered and questions that should be asked. Is the control absolutely necessary? What are the consequences if there isn't a control in place? Will the control be effective? Are there alternative options to minimize potential issues? Are there any vulnerabilities that can be accepted, transferred, or avoided? Determining what system uses for vital tasks will provide a more extensive list of features that need to be kept or altered accordingly to ensure business continuity. Knowing the efficiency of specific tools can let management know what needs to be analyzed further to establish appropriate alternatives or what can be discarded altogether. Maintaining system integrity is another major concern when handling large amounts of data and users. Having a trusted computing standard is important to ensure that the confidence is a normal behaving system is present. This standard should have platform identity protection, software integrity verification before installation, protection when it comes to data, network, and confidentiality. We have several recommendations for the organization. A system capable of transferring data over the network will have to abide by industry standards while also including encryption for security purposes. Constructing the architecture for a database that will be used within most industries comes with many challenges, especially dealing with personal identifiable information or PII and privacy over the network. Just like any digital infrastructure, there are protocols that can be incorporated into the development that will encrypt data in motion as well as data at rest. Through extensive security testing and code review, many errors and vulnerabilities associated with the back-end development as well as the user interface can be identified and corrected before nationwide deployment. This will allow for a more secure and effective system for all users. There were several outcomes of the organization. Analysis after the summit found that the protocols that were in place during the summit were not 100% effective. The intrusion detection system and monitoring tools were available to properly identify the attacks. After extensive deliberation, it was determined that this ransom should not be paid. The attacking machine was discovered by investigators, analysts, and developers working together. The malicious activity was stopped before payout and damage was done. Conclusion. Although there is not a way to predict and protect every possible vulnerability, with the implementation of the recommended suggestions, the network can be as safe as possible. It was found that the organization should be proactive instead of reactive. To detect malicious activity and prevent breaches, the network should be continuously monitored. Regular training of employees at the organization will reduce the risk of attack. Mitigation strategies should be developed as soon as possible. This concludes the presentation. Are there any questions?